we'll call this regularly scheduled session of fiscal court into order. Today, November 10th, 2020. And we'll start with an invocation from Magistrate Ronnie Short.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you today for your wonderful blessings, God. We thank you for watching over this court. We thank you for your protecting power that you give us every day. We ask, God, that you'll, Lord, what we do today, you'll bless it, God, and be done, Lord Jesus, with love and concern for our citizens in our community. We pray, God, that you'll, this COVID that's going on, God, not only in our communities, but in our schools and stuff, we pray, God, that you will touch that, God, we pray. We ask, God, that you'll be with us. Keep your protecting hand around us, we pray, in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. For the court, if they please, I'm going to ask our, in lieu of tomorrow being Veterans Day, not in lieu of, because of Veterans Day tomorrow, I would like to ask my fellow veterans to join me in leading the Pledge of Allegiance. And that is Magistrate John K. Wood and Magistrate Phil Salmons. Everybody else join in as we lead.
Thank you, sir. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, good. All righty.
That's Sergeant Samples,
I'm the lowest ranking one.
Don't you forget that.
All
I'm
right.
an EM.
I don't think he's going to let you forget.
He probably, he's dealing with, two O's here now, So, anyway, next on our agenda is to approve the prior meeting minutes. And, we do have one, court member absent today who is quarantined, so we,
Been there and done that.
yeah, been there and done that, haven't you? So, we still have a quorum, and, I will say this, while you're looking at the minutes, entertain a motion on that.
Make a motion to approve,
That,
Judge.
Magistrate Short needs to leave at 10 o'clock for, the completion of other assignments that are of critical importance to he and the county, so.
I second it.
We have a motion made to approve the minutes as presented and seconded by Magistrate Salmon, seconded by Magistrate Short. Discussions, corrections?
Yeah, Judge,
Yes, sir.
I can only say about 20 lines down, if you can find the word Jody and right above it, I might have been asleep at the wheel, but I didn't understand it that Jody evaluates Josh and Josh evaluates Jody. Is that accurate? See, I've never seen where a subordinate, unless there was a circumstance that needed discussion, I've never seen it where that would be the case. If we could take a look at that, I'd appreciate it.
Joe, what? I don't remember that last part.
Yeah, that's the part that's vexing, knowing that a subordinate
No,
rarely, unless no. We'll strike that out. Thank you, Judge.
Josh evaluates Jody. Okay. Anything else?
I'm good.
All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those like sign, motion carries. All right. Next, we need to pay some bills, approve some bills, and Miss Mariah is out there ready to come in. Good morning.
Good morning.
All righty, are we ready?
We're ready.
Okay, so this morning, the standing orders total is $252,029.74. And my total for bills to be approved to be paid is $486,808.99. Any?
All right. We're missing Jamie again.
I move.
Move to pay the bills. Magistrate K. Wood and seconded by Magistrate Salmons. Any questions, comments, or discussion of Mariah?
Judge,
Yes, sir.
are these pages numbered? I don't think so. I guess it's our third page counting the cover sheet, $200 for carries, towing, and recovery. My only concern there is, and I mentioned it in a previous meeting, is there any way that we could purchase a AAA type contract? Because that would have paid my family coverage for more than a year. And we might be able to save, if we have 2 or 3 vehicles break down in just 1 year, it's not part of this discussion, but it would be something we could pursue. Secondly, on the next page, Mitchell Lane and Miners Branch, how do we go about a bid process? Because I know of at least one vendor, he's out of county, but he's next door. And do we go through a bid process when we have tree removal? $871, $671 on that third page, first major item.
I'd have to ask Duane about that, I'm not
We don't
sure.
go through a bid process with anything that low, Tom.
Not that low,
Oh,
below
we don't.
$1,000.
No,
you
below
don't need to.
$1,000
Threshold.
typically
Okay,
not.
all right, good.
Or-
All right, thank you.
Okay, we need to vote on the motion that was made by, seconded by Salmon, made by Kingwood, seconded by Salmon. So all those in favor of paying these bills as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you,
All
Mariah.
right.
Good job, Mariah.
Thank you.
All right, next.
The judge, could I answer Tom's question on the AAA?
Yes, sir.
I don't think as a government entity that we'd be authorized to do that.
I just don't know. I don't know that it's ever
Would
been
we,
pursued.
We can look, yeah, we can look into it. I just don't
I
know.
don't believe we'd be authorized to.
Thank you.
Okay.
Would we, John?
I don't think so.
They normally don't take on business. You'd have to have some sort of business,
I don't think they do it the same rate as
No.
maybe Thompson.
Oh, no.
It would be good.
Okay.
like what you.
Budget transfers is next.
Alright, it's highlighted in orange for you all, if you all wanna look at it. We had 3 budget transfers. One was for $9 for, animal control uniforms. The other one was $200 and some for CAECO dues. And then the last one, which was a pretty big one, was so that we could take care of Miss Julie over there and get her in the system and, make sure everything was up to speed with that, so.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
Motion to
Just
make the
Julie's.
budget transfer has been made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Short. Questions, comments, discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Next, cash transfers.
So we got the 2 usual cash transfers. Cash transfers. The first one's EMS, for $80,000 to cover their, payroll and accounts payable until next time. And then the other one is, it might look a little bigger than normal, is the joint jail, and that's for $250,000. And, that is to cover us until for this next joint jail meeting and until the next one. Last time I kinda had broke it down and asked them to approve it piece by piece, but this time I just did it all in one shot, so that when we go to the joint jail meeting, Mercer County knows what's going on.
Make a motion.
Second.
A motion made by Magistrate Short to approve the cash transfers and seconded by Magistrate Sammons. Questions, comments, discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, next, it's Mike Rogers' time up.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Fiscal Court. Today, we're on the agenda to have Dr. Grant's professional license with the county renewed.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right, motion to approve, and this contract has been gone
It's
through
healthcare.
by, and there's no change from last year in any regard except the dates. Okay, so the motion been made by Magistrate Cullen and seconded by Magistrate Ellis to approve the professional service contract for Dr. Grant between them, he and the EMS. Discussions, comments, questions?
Dr. Guerrant's been doing a fantastic job. He's extremely involved, and we are grateful to have him, so thank you very much. Please let him know we said that.
I will, thank you.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries.
Thank you, Judge.
All
Thank you,
right,
Court.
thank you. Next is Bill Nichols.
I have it. I
Oh,
told
thank
him I
you.
would do it.
All right, thank you.
We just have a minor change to the IT disaster recovery plan, and that is to replace Mary Connolly's contact information in the plan with Keegan Hinkle, and to add my contact information in this plan. That's the only modifications, and then he put on the list of all the updates, added that to it. So it's just a name swap and update.
I'll make that motion.
All right, motion been made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Short to approve the
We're all gonna get out of here by 10 a.m.
updated information technology disaster recovery plan. Any comments, discussions, deletion, changes, anything? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you for that. And Miss Julie Wagner is next.
Okay, before you is the corrected Constitution Square Park rental agreement, both for-profit and non-profit. The context hasn't changed, just some typos and things are cleaned up.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made to approve the Constitution Square Park rental agreements that have been gone through several times. And second made by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Sammons. Any discussions, comments?
But reading over it, it looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's excellent.
Thank you to the Birthplace Committee for all their hard work, and to Julie, appreciate it.
Yes. And
Agree
all
with that.
accounts. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Good move. Good move. Next is Duane Campbell. There he is.
Loudspeaker.
That's right. I only have, let's see, it says I have 2 items. I better make sure what this is. Okay. The first item I have, our backhoe, we broke a drive shaft on it, trying to get a tree out from under a bridge. So we need to get it repaired. It's one of our most important pieces of equipment. We've already hauled it to Georgetown to have them look at it and give us an idea. The cost is going to be upwards of $6,000 or $7,000 to repair, which we knew it would be expensive. So that's why I'm here before you, because it's more than $3,000. So
What's the cost? I'm sorry.
it's going to be upwards of $6,000 or $7,000 to repair it. But now we'll also check into the insurance too on it, since it would be considered an accident. Because they dropped into a hole trying to drive over to the tree to get out of the.
So
when
with
they
the
dropped in the
insurance,
hole, they landed on a rock, and the rock snapped the drive
with
shaft.
the insurance, we don't know exactly.
Could offset that.
Could offset that.
Could offset
6
some of it, yes.
Think we need to get back on that, find out what the insurance is gonna pay.
Well, whatever, I think our deductible's $5,000, so it'd be over, so it's not
okay.
gonna cover a whole lot.
No.
But we will pursue that, just to, try to get
Well,
part
we
of the
gotta have
coverage.
it, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, we do have to have it. So that's
I'll second.
It's an essential piece of equipment.
I'm just curious on how you consider that an accident instead of just a regular work.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to talk to them and see what they, we'll let them make that determination.
That's just part of your job at moving. You don't know when it's gonna fall in a hole or
That's
do
true.
this and that.
Yeah, it wasn't, yeah.
That's,
But,
That'd be
but we
something
we
get
still contact them and then
Yeah,
let them
that's
make that
good.
determination.
yeah.
Okay, motion made by Magistrate Sammons, seconded by Magistrate Cullen to approve.
Whose team you on, sir?
To approve, requested estimate, repair on the backhoe between $6,000 and $7,000.
Seconded.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
You made the motion.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Duane, any update on roads that remain?
They're gonna start on this week, and into next week.
Yeah,
That's what he told us
yeah, we
yesterday.
met Shane yesterday, and he's got a plan to finish Mitchellsburg Knob and Parable and lots of other places.
Yeah.
We've had some great weather.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Man.
can we get an update on Crispin Lane? Has that been taken care of yet, or what? With that tree that I told you about?
They have looked at it, I do know that, but I don't know any of the status of it.
Come a little fire, because that's gonna end up, I mean, it's an issue.
Yeah, no, I've talked to them twice about it.
All right.
Now
And
then-
that's, I'm sorry.
because they did some work out there, and so I checked to see if they had done that, but
I'd
they
like,
have not.
I'd like to get that, I mean, if
Yeah.
they're responsible for that road, they need to take care of it
Yeah,
when our.
now they may have, I don't know, they were
Okay.
trying to make a determination if that was gonna be contractor or if they could do that in-house.
And then
That's the
also,
issue.
I still have that one water leak on Goggin, I got a couple problems.
Yeah, I
got
talked
the-
to him about the shoulder the other day too
Yeah,
again.
because you can see, it's actually starting to break off because several cars have kind of fallen in there.
Okay,
And then I still have that, I don't know if you can, who you can reach out to at the city again. I'm trying not to hit up Earl too many times, but I've got that one water leak. As we get into the colder weather, I'm a little worried that they're out right between Riverview and Hamlin's. I talked to you about a month ago or
yeah,
so.
yeah,
There's still a water leak there. I just
okay.
want to make sure that we don't
Okay.
bust something.
Kind of
because
popping
it's
up through
leaking.
the road a little
Yeah,
bit.
you can see it.
Okay,
They have markings on the road, so I thought they were going to take care of it, but they didn't. So,
okay. Well, I'll follow up. They probably had the utilities marked,
yeah,
but now I don't know where it is on the
I'll-
schedule, so
I'll
we'll
shoot
just
you a
have to ask
picture,
him and see.
but yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't hear anything in a week, let me know and I'll.
Well,
Let's
I will
get back to
remind
the
you.
agenda.
We'll
We have one more discussion item.
That works.
How come Tom gets to talk all the time?
Well, you
whenever he
did too.
wants?
I got you on my stopwatch.
You're gonna share your time.
Could I ask you one question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have one too, Judge.
I'll make that motion.
One of the prices on the, taking the tree down, is that on our Milo Bonner Lane? Is that one of, you got two on there, $671? Okay.
No, it's more than that. So I
Well,
don't know what-
one of them was the Bonner Lane, right?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what bills are on there. I'm not sure the bill's on there yet, because we just did it just.
Well, there's two trees.
There's two on there, there's two
From-
that
from
were
Stan-
on
Six,
I was-
one's a $6 and one's a $700.
That's probably the rental on the lift. Unless, we had to hire Stanley to do those trees on Bonner Lane,
okay.
so it's a lot more than that.
Cause I've been getting some calls on it, so.
All right,
Thank you.
indemnification. You do have a
Only question I have, Duane, I know
Yes, sir.
you guys you don't pick up, dead deer, but I know you're out all the time.
Right.
And, John and I talked this week
Yeah.
about who's gonna pick up a deer and what have you, but I've never seen as many killed
Yes.
as there are this fall. I don't know
Yes.
what there's for out on 2168, by the time you get there all the way to the golf course.
Yeah, they're on the move
Over
right
it.
now.
But anyhow, I got to share this with you guys, if you don't care, Judge. Yesterday, me and my wife's on the way to Lexington, it's about 1 o'clock. And this, we just hit 27 going north, and this corner van passed us. I mean, he was flying. We get down there about, I guess it's a mile and a half, 2 miles back this side of Hilltop where that restaurant, grocery store and what it is. And there's a lot of state police and everything, and right beside the road was this monster of a big buck deer. And, I just kinda slowed down, and they said there's one person had been killed. That's why the coroner was there from
Yeah,
Guerrant
yeah,
County.
wow.
I thought that was sad, we just think, what if he's from out of state, and bad enough if you're in state, what if you're out of state, get a call like that?
Yeah.
But I wish a disease would hit these things and kill them all.
Judge, well-
It creates 30,000 wrecks a year by deer being hit on the highway. 30,000, you think of that.
While we're on that subject, I got a call about 10 o'clock yesterday, and in making some other calls, it would appear, and please straighten me out if I'm wrong, that no one picks a deer up unless he's on the road. This deer happened to be close to a walking track, and the people who were walking called it in. Who is supposed to pick up the deer? Because the state doesn't unless, on 2168.
State's not
state
gonna
doesn't
pick 'em
do it
up.
Unless it has.
I think that's our responsibility, isn't it, Judge?
No, it's
It's not.
wildlife.
It's
Wildlife.
livestock is what I understand, is the only thing that we pick up.
Livestock's the only thing we'll do.
That's what so who picks up a deer in this kind of situation?
My understanding was when you call in a deer, you call wildlife, and they come and check it out and get rid of the deer. That's just what I've been told.
Wayne, I think you have
Well,
Definitely
what,
answer.
last that I was told was that if it's on state right of way, they go out and bury it there on the site.
buried on site.
Well, I was told it's gotta be impeding the road.
Okay.
That's what was shared with me, and it was Rita who shared that with me.
Yeah.
Cause I called and talked to her.
Okay. That was the last that I was told by the state maintenance folks, is that they.
Well, this
they
big
just go out
deer
and
is
bury it.
right, this big buck is right at the edge of the highway, and the one out going into Old Bridge, I don't know who's, that's Mr. Cullen over there.
Yes, it is.
There's one right next to the driveway going in, laying there.
Well, who do we call to call the state?
Send me, if you get a message, send me a text, let me
Okay,
call them,
I
okay?
just didn't know who.
Just give me a good, give me a reasonable address close to where it's at.
Well,
would
this
help.
was by the walking trail.
And if you don't have one, I'll drive out and find it,
Yeah.
if you've got an address, that's
Okay,
helpful.
Thank you.
Cause that's what, I can give them that address and then they can find it, so it helps too,
I just
Well,
wonder if
John's
the deer are
call.
still there.
The one John's talking about's been there about 3 or 4 days.
okay?
The one there on the bypass, right down from, Government Service Center's gone now.
Yeah,
It
you
was
haven't
on
seen so much
Saturday, but it's gone
blood in
now.
my life as it there.
It was a mess, wasn't it?
It was a mess.
Moving right along.
All right, good. Well, thank you. Thank you. All right, indemnity agreement.
This, did Chris write this? This indemnification agreement for the city of Perryville? It's on the agenda.
Okay.
Request for
Nice.
approval of indemnification
He-
agreement
he's-
for
he-
playground.
he has reviewed it, and he's not here, as you can tell. Thank you. But, any questions or comments about indemnification on the playground equipment?
But he's okay with it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
All right, motion made to approve by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Short. Any questions, comments, or discussions? I'm not the expert on this, but it has had legal review.
I'm just excited, hopefully we can recycle this equipment and Tom will get some use out of those seesaws.
2 or 3 pieces are not gonna be taken. Actually, I think they've already been taken out, right?
One piece.
Yeah, oh, just one, good, okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Wonderful.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the indemnification agreement on playground equipment, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Hey, Duane.
All right.
Hey, thank you, appreciate
Good to
it.
see you.
All right, Miss Shannon's next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
First on my list is to request approval to hire a full-time animal control officer number 2. This is Elias Delbridge.
What's the name again?
Elias Delbridge.
Elias Delbridge.
Spell the last name.
It's E.L. Bridge.
We would like to hire him as animal control officer 2, beginning Thursday, November 12th, at $13.92 an hour.
He's a Pearland resident.
Good to meet you, sir.
You mind
Shannon
taking
and
your
I-
mask, you mind taking your mask off just for a second?
Yeah,
So we can see you.
Shannon, what I'd like to see happen, I'm on that animal control committee along with my fellow magistrate. When we're getting ready to interview someone like that for a job like that, if it's in such a committee, I think that committee ought to be involved. I'd like to meet him for today.
We can work that out. This is a personnel committee recommendation, but we will add you to, on hire, I guess we need 2 committees to review future hires
Well,
for every department.
when we hired, the last group of people, I know I was in on the interview with the committee. And I just think it'd be good, and then we'd refer it over. I'd prefer doing that, meeting him, and then referring it over to the personnel committee,
Okay.
We can do it all at the same time.
right?
So I'm on the personnel committee, so.
Well, it'd be fine, so you've got it.
You need a motion?
We need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Magistrate Cullen to approve the hire as stipulated, and seconded by Magistrate Ellis. Any comments, questions, you have any other questions of him or anything?
I think it was Magistrate Short.
Magistrate Short seconded, okay.
What's the start date?
Start
The 12th.
Thursday, the 12th.
Day after.
$13.92.
$13.92 an hour. All those in favor of approving the hire, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Elias, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to
We
see
have
you again.
we have a
We'll
great
be
humane
seeing you
society
Monday.
that you'll have the pleasure of
Very
working
good,
with,
thank you.
and any questions, comments, or concerns,
Well,
reach out to us,
right
okay?
All right, yes, sir.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Elias, send me your information on that, settlement over there. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be in touch. We got a lot of area out there.
You can block his number if you want.
He's not from here.
All right, what we got next?
Like me.
PTO carryover agreement. Policy. He's on
Someone
the
turn his
wrong
mic
John,
off,
John.
please.
Take care of my light work, please.
It's good. Good thing Human Resources is here.
That's heavy, Judge.
Huh?
That's heavy lifting.
Will one of his superiors make him do some push-ups or something?
All right.
Judge,
All
don't let him pick on me.
Drop, give me
Man,
20.
that's your job.
Shannon?
The PTO carryover policy, right now, in the handbook, is employees are allowed to carry over 120 hours of vacation at the end of the year, at the end of December. We have several employees that are going to be way over that 120 because they haven't had time to take off, things like that. Wanting your thoughts?
It's not in the administrative code. It is in the personnel handbook on page 44. There has been some discussion, amongst people that are aware of this, that, we either, can extend under extenuating circumstances of COVID-19 an extension to that by court decision, or we cannot extend the policy over 120 hours. I have before me, I have probably in the neighborhood of about 25 names, and I and Shannon are aware most of the 25 on their own accord will be working it down to an acceptable carryover level, okay? But we have some that are way up there, and they may or may not make it. Some concern has been discussed about, it's not just somebody that couldn't get a vacation rental or something, or airline ticket to get away. Because of, some of these are in EMS and jail, and one animal control officer right now, he hadn't been one all year, but right now he's one, so he can't take off. It creates a problem. And there's been argument both ways. So I just want to throw out for discussion that the policy is, I'll read, it's simple, 2 sentences. Full-time employees shall be allowed to carry over a maximum of 120 hours vacation leave from year to year. Leave in excess of this amount shall be forfeited without pay. I throw it out to consider an exception due to COVID-19. Not everybody is lackadaisical or in their taking their leave, and it will negatively impact the operations of some if forced, or they will lose time that they've earned. Discussion.
You want a motion or a discussion first?
I would discussion first.
I'd like, Shannon, is this something that's come up in previous years?
No. Well, we have had,
Not COVID, but people wanting to extend over 120?
no, they usually,
I thought you said in the committee
They
meeting
have-
that had to happen.
They've been over
they've
before.
been over, but they just lose it.
Okay, has the issue come up where there's been requests in previous years?
No.
This is the first year this has come up.
And other counties, did you look that up?
I
I-
did look that up.
I want to be open, but I think very carefully, we have to be careful about changing the rules of the game. Everybody knows and has to adjust. Everybody's adjusted through this, I think, in their life, and it's not been easy, and I understand that. But I think we have the rules, and you have to be real careful how you adjust the rules without showing favoritism, without showing that the rule book stands as it is written, because she has to defend that book. And when people come to her, she goes to her book to read the rules, and I understand that, and I feel like we need to protect you in that. But I will be open to any other discussion, but
Well,
I think it's ticklish ground.
I agree with you, Magistrate. Okay, what, Judge said there's 25, I believe, right?
Approximately, yeah.
Approximately 25.
25.
Well, all of them, they couldn't all be from the jail,
Oh, no.
and they
no.
couldn't all
No,
be
no.
from animal control. So
No.
we've got some there
EMS.
that could have taken their vacation or taken the time off. And like John, I'm a stickler for sticking with the rules. I mean, we got 120 or 100 hours, that's the way it is. Unless it's,
I mentioned this earlier, that this all started in March. We've been asking our employees to give everything they have to step up, because we're in a situation where EMS doesn't have time to take off because they're running rampant, taking care of this community. The jail, I mean, you know, they're doing their job, everything that we ask of them. Yeah, we haven't dealt with this before, but we haven't had, you know, where a state has pretty much shut down and relied on those essential employees. And we see signs everywhere that says, thank you to our essential employees, thank you to our essential employees. I think this would be a slap in the face to not give them an opportunity within, you know, and have an exception, a one-time exception to allow them. I mean, this is time off that they really need, that they've been without. I mean, I can relate. I've not had much time off at all since this started, and it drains on you physically and mentally. And so to essentially, I understand there's rules, and I greatly, you know, can appreciate the rules, but in essence, to take this away from them when they've stepped up and done everything that they can do to work through this pandemic, not knowing when it's going to end, not knowing, I mean, because we were like, at first it was like, oh, we should be through this by April, we should be through this by June, we should be through this, but now we don't even know. Hopefully there's a vaccine possibly in here, but I'd say make the exception, take care of our employees like we always do, and show them our true appreciation for the job they did. I mean, they put their lives at risk over the last 9 months to basically do their job. Showed up when they didn't have to. They didn't leave us high and dry. They did what they needed to do. So let's do what we need to do to make this one time, you know, acceptance. But what the ask is, though, this doesn't just give them a blanket, you know, okay, the court ruled on this, whatever. If they need to make a reasonable effort between now and the end of the year to shave off some of those hours. And then if for some reason, after talking with their supervisors, or leave it up to the department heads or whatever, if they can't do it, we allow them to roll it over.
Magistrate Cullen, if you could state what I'm hearing as a motion,
I can't even repeat it, I don't know.
exception, a motion, I can certainly second.
Well, let me
You can
further,
make a motion.
further
I said if
clarify,
you would.
further clarify.
I'm happy to make a motion on
The
this.
uniqueness of this year. We've
That's
not
right.
had a COVID-19 before. And we're under a county judges and state declaration of emergency
Right.
currently. I
Probably one of
think
the
those are
longest serving.
extenuating circumstances to consider, but I do appreciate the train of thought that we need to be consistent across the board. Now, the policy going forward on excess of 120 hours, we encourage utilization to the end of the year to be compliant with 120. But if you can't, then the carryover would be approved by court action. But I'm not stating that as a motion, okay?
Can
All
I
right,
say
I will
something?
state the motion of one-time rollover, providing all employees make a reasonable effort to use by the end of the year.
Use the word COVID, and I can second it.
COVID-19.
Due to COVID-19, 2021, whatever this is going to be labeled,
You mean,
ex- ex-
you mean 2020?
yeah, extenuating circumstances.
Before you make that motion,
Okay, I'll pull it back.
It's always open for discussion.
I know, but let me put this out. You know, I can see, you know, what they're looking at here is, you know, not being able to use their time to run it over. I made a suggestion, maybe if they was gonna lose them days, that we'll go ahead and pay them for them.
I don't think we can do that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
you know, that way they don't at least lose the money, and they might lose the time, but they won't lose getting paid for them.
I'm more,
And then leaving what we got like it always is, you know, you can run over 120 hours, whatever. But,
To counter that
if they
thought-
can do that, I think that's probably the best solution.
But to counter that thought, that if they can arrange it with their supervisors, which is always critical, especially in some of the areas like the detention and EMS areas, if they can arrange it with their supervisors, because there's a little bit of lull going on, then budget-wise and every otherwise, protecting the taxpayer, I would go with the motion without the compensation concept.
I think the time off is greatly needed. I mean, some of these,
Yeah, they
Some of
need,
our
they
employees
need
R&R.
to recuperate.
they
rejuvenate.
need that, and we need to encourage
Recoup.
that.
We do need to encourage that.
We do need to.
I mean, we are making the
And right now,
exception
as
for
much
them.
as any time in history.
Right. So,
It's not their
what,
fault.
No,
No,
it's not their fault.
it's not their
But
fault.
let me say this, there are 9 jail, 6 EMS, 3 sheriff, and 1 AC, animal control.
yeah, which we technically only have one AC right now.
May
We
I,
only have one.
let me add one piece of information to this good discussion, that I didn't know till today, is that EMS has had difficulty of part-timers coming in, and that has played havoc, I think, with their scheduling.
It has. greatly.
And I didn't know that till this morning, and that kind of plays into this decision, I think, in discussion.
Right.
The difficulty that
That's a
they have.
point that we need to address further down the road.
Yes, sir, so,
in budget-
I
budget
agree,
time.
yes.
So do we put an end date on this as of, we'll allow this to roll over?
This is it. This-
But, no, but you have to use this time by, like, say, June 30, or do we just let them use
No,
it anytime in?
December 31st of 2021, it's 120 hours.
Okay, all right. And previous
Right,
years
right,
don't,
Shannon?
yeah,
If we extend this, if we extend it, that's the cut date.
upon approval from
Upon approval from-
supervisors.
Upon approval from supervisor.
Will we approve by name the individuals who we allow this to happen to at the end of the year? Will we do it by name or just
Blanket.
blanket?
I think just a blanket.
I
because
just think a
that-
blanket. We have the names identified.
Yeah, but most of them, with the encouragement.
I-
Yeah.
My point really is, I want to be sure we protect Shannon with our code, our rules of
Yeah.
how we operate.
I understand what you're saying.
And because, like I said, she's making decisions out of the book, and rightfully so, because we
Well,
approved
that's right.
the book, and I want to back her.
Do we already have that many that's already over, or they're just getting close?
Those are the ones
25.
that are.
These will be over December 31
They will be over.
they will be over.
I know me being a bus driver, if I don't take my days, they roll over.
Yeah.
So I've got about 40-something days.
And then they will roll over, but this is just, we only allow 120. This is gonna be, there's some on there that may have more.
Well,
So,
the way that don't roll over,
120,
in a way, if you're on
120 is a lot of time. I mean, my God,
It is.
20, you have time to take some time off. during that period of
earned time though, let's remember that. They earned that time.
That's right.
But, I mean, hindsight's 2020. We never knew back in March that it would be lasting this long. So it's very easily for us to look back and say, oh, they should have taken it, but when you're going through this situation, you don't know, what you're up against, so.
On Magistrate Caleb's comment, could we defer any further discussion as long as you give us a clear idea without a motion, and make sure that Shannon is protected as Magistrate Caleb
She's got the
said?
list. I mean, I understand what John's saying,
I'm talking
but,
about the process and going against code, that you coordinate with our,
It's not going against code.
okay, with Chris Herron, but I'm listening to what John said.
Handbook policy.
Handbook
Yeah.
policy.
That you coordinate with Chris and come back.
yeah, we're the ones that control this, and we have the list identified, so it's not gonna be any more than this. This is just the potential of the 29 people.
Right.
So it's not like you're gonna get another 45 people that all automatically end up having time. I mean, this is the,
What I
This is the
would
one.
recommend procedurally, that Shannon in the next pay stub send out a statement to every person that the fiscal court approved a rollover extension to exceed 120 hours for this one time because of the,
I would ask something different. I would ask that Shannon provide that list to the supervisor and make sure the supervisor has a conversation with that employee, and that whether they sign something or whatever, understanding that this is a one-time rollover, and that way, because I can't tell you the last time I looked in my paycheck envelope. So
When we designed this, the supervisors were supposed to monitor this, and when he came close to that number,
Yeah.
even before he got to it, they're supposed to let the court know.
Yeah, but we didn't design it for COVID, so.
are they supposed to let the court know?
That's just, I'm correct, Mr. Greenwood?
I don't remember that, but I think this new, record keeping that we signed on
When it
will
got
help,
close,
will
we-
help a whole lot in this
Yeah.
discussion. Is that
Oh, that
right,
close?
Shannon?
Yeah, that will help.
That will help because it automatically determines, and it's a good record keeping. And that's why we passed that, I think, to help in this area,
And this,
so.
if the supervisor has the conversation and they sign something or whatever, it also gives the supervisor an opportunity to say, I want you to try to take every opportunity to take this time off before the end of the year.
Yeah.
If for some reason, because of circumstances within your role, you can't do it, we're going to allow you. But it checks off two little boxes there, that they've had the conversation, they know they can roll it over, but they also need to have the responsibility to make sure they take that time off to reduce the actual extra rollover.
Give us a motion.
Where's my motion? Thank you. Due to COVID-19, one-time rollover, providing all employees make a reasonable effort to use by the end of the year, and that their supervisors will have a conversation with them, noting the time that could be available to them, and that they must make every effort to use the time before the end of the year.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion has been made, as stated by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Ellis. Do we need further discussion on it?
I hope not.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. We got your back, don't worry.
Shannon, what's the schedule on the new time card situation?
I am working right now with Chronos, getting all the things set up.
Okay,
So we're hoping to have it up and going sometime in December for practice. And then
so that's,
January, February will be live.
okay, so, and that will give us a lot of information and the employee a lot of helpful information. And I think eliminate some of this that we just went through.
And Shannon, last time, you talked briefly about the health fair and some qualifications. But I was confused, so I asked another magistrate, and he was confused as well. What's the 1,800, what's the 2,400, what is that used for, and who is qualified to get that?
The 1,800 and the 2,400 are for the health reimbursement account. If you are not participating in our health plan, you can do the health reimbursement account. If you complete the health risk assessment, the biometrics and the form that we went online and filled out, and your blood work, you will receive $2,400 in the year to use to pay things that your other insurance didn't cover.
Without any
Deductibles.
participation,
Without it,
any participation at all?
you
Would
just,
you have had to sign up for that?
yes, you do have to sign up for that. If you don't do all three parts of that health fair, then it is the $1,800.
Yeah, I don't take the health insurance here, so I get the reimbursement, so.
Okay, thank you.
That's a good benefit.
All right. Thank you, Shannon.
All right, now
Thank
We're gonna zoom in to, you got control of the Zoom?
I got control of the Zoom.
Oh, look at that picture.
Lisa, are you there?
I hate modern technology.
There we go.
I do too, brother.
You,
I do.
I do too.
Dumber than a box of rocks.
I am, I can't handle it.
Good morning, Lisa. Can you hear us? Just barely. Not any better.
Bill?
That's not us.
That's not us.
It's not us, it's you, apparently.
No, it's her feet, it's her feet with that.
Do we need to handle this today?
Yes.
Have her call your phone.
Okay. Lisa, can you call my phone?
Bill, can you order us pizza too?
Already done.
Bill, do you drive a bus?
He's already in charge of this train wreck.
Not
so-
yet.
We're looking for people, y'all need a job.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Hi, Lisa.
Shannon, be sure to mute the computer.
Okay. Let me mute the computer. All right. That's good. You're gonna have to talk loud.
All right, I don't usually have a problem with that.
Put her in the mic.
Okay, go ahead.
Make a difference when we come through here.
It's just recorded.
Oh,
Still need it anyway.
Lisa, can you kind of go over the stop loss and the policy recommendations? Jamie's out on quarantine.
Oh, okay, sure. Do you want me to start with the stop loss?
Yes, please.
Okay, what Sherill Morgan is recommending is that the county renew with Companion Life. Between Sherill Morgan and ARC, we went out to a number of different carriers, I think a dozen or so, and we only had 2 carriers who submitted firm proposals. And one of those we would not recommend because they don't have the protections that are already included in your policy that guarantee that at your next renewal, you could not be assigned any new quote-unquote lasers, which is simply a higher specific deductible on any member, and also a guarantee that your premiums cannot increase by more than 49%. And 49% would not be of your total health plan cost, it would be of your specific stop loss premium. So the only options that we seriously considered for the county would be options within Companion. And they did give a number of different renewal options to the county for different specific deductibles and so forth. But the renewal initially came in from Companion at about a 9% increase. And because we had competitive quotes from at least one other carrier, Companion reduced their renewal off about 5.5%. So that's going to be our recommendation, that the county renew with Companion Life with all the same terms that you currently have in your stop loss policy. Any questions on that?
She's recommending a continued renewal.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
A motion been made by Magistrate Cullen and seconded by Magistrate Ellis to continue with the stop loss Companion Life coverage. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Lisa. Next.
You're welcome, Judge.
yeah.
The next recommendation that we're making is that the county renew its health plan administration with ARC, and the increase on their administrative fees would be $2 per employee per month. And the reason for that increase is that we're also recommending that you move the pharmacy administration to a company called Ventegra. And Ventegra would be working with another company called MedVen, so you may see that in the materials, in order to provide administration of your pharmacy plan. And so ARC had some revenues that they were receiving through the pharmacy benefit manager that you use currently. revenue. But we expect that the move to Vantegra will save the county almost $100,000, and that is purely because of the way the claims will be paid. They're going to be paid on what we call acquisition cost index pricing. And so what that means is that the county is going to pay the price that the pharmacy paid for the drug, and there won't be any margin or spread on the pharmacy claims as there is today. So simply by removing that spread and having all of your pharmacy administration fees be on a fixed fee basis, the savings is almost $100,000, and that is without changing any benefits to your employees. So the only thing that the employees will see is a different logo on their card and a new formulary. And the formulary change means that there may be, a drug here and there that moves tiers. So, one drug may move to a higher tier, another drug may move to a lower tier, but that kind of thing happens every January, regardless of whether you move administrators or not. Formularies always change in January. So we think that moving to Vantegra will be a source of significant savings for the county with very little disruption to the employees, if any.
I'll make that motion.
What'd she say? It's simple.
Huh?
That- They're removing,
I couldn't hardly hear her.
you take the phone over to Phil. That we're removing the pharmacy from the ARC,
Right.
which is gonna cause a $2 increase in premiums to the employees.
Not to the, it won't be to the employees, it's administrative costs.
Oh, administrative costs, okay,
Not to
all
the
right.
employee.
So, good, okay, that was my only concern about this. But by moving it to this different pharmacy, it's gonna save the court about $100,000 a year, because they're removing the middle person, essentially.
Taking the middleman out.
Middleman out, so when we get charged for pharmacies, we're getting it at the pharmacist rate, not at what the middle person would be charging us, an added amount, so.
I may have missed this. Will it change participating pharmacies?
Shouldn't.
No,
No.
They're all really basic.
no.
Says no.
See, she's shaking her head no.
I think all of them except, Walgreens or something.
Walgreens,
Walgreens.
they're a little bit higher, they're quite a bit higher than everybody else.
Yeah,
Judge,
Again-
if I remember this is what was discussed back when we talked about our health insurance months ago.
Right.
This was
Yeah,
coming,
This was a big piece
this
of
was a
it.
big piece of the puzzle of why we.
This is a welcome addition.
Yes.
to where
Right,
we're
was
going.
the savings
We've
that we
been
were gonna
waiting
start
for
seeing.
this, so
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that it's finally
Right.
coming about, so.
So, motion is to accept the presentation of the.
The recommendation,
Of the,
yeah.
of the rate increase as it relates to the pharmacy as a cost savings to administratively to the county and to the employees, so.
second it.
Made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Short. Any questions? Phil, you got any more questions? Anybody? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Lisa.
We have one more for HRA transfers?
HRA
Well,
transfers.
We got to approve the, premiums for the employees. Right now, the current premium that the county pays is $1,032.26. The proposed for this year is $1,062.20.
That's, now that's
That-
family
and-
plan.
That's the employee-only portion that the county will pay. So it's gonna go up by $30.
$30.
I'll make that motion.
The, well, I
Well,
gotta
let her
finish.
finish.
Good.
Well, you
The
need to
em-
talk faster.
The employee
You gotta get
only
Ronnie out of here
plus
too.
one,
Yeah.
right now is $1,545.84. It will go up to $1,590.67, so about a $45 increase. Family is $19,077.
19,000?
1,900, sorry.
Yeah.
You about to get a no motion on that.
Yeah. The proposed is $1,955.89.
19, can you repeat those numbers again?
$1,977.77.
Thank you.
Current. Proposed is $1,955.89. $89.
So it went down.
No, it went up.
No, it went up,
$55.
$55.
And that was the standard
Oh.
plan.
$1,900.77.
Oh, okay, I thought it was 1977.
I did too
Yeah,
at
that's,
first.
that's what. So we've got an increase of 30 for single, 45 for family, person plus one, and then 55 for family.
And that's the standard plan. We also have
That's per
the,
year,
that's per year,
yes.
or per month,
Per month.
per month.
Ooh.
Then we also have the higher deductible, lower premium plan.
Saving $100,000.
The county currently pays $846.22. The proposed rate for next year is $870.76. Employee plus one is $1,077.44. And they want to increase to $1,108.69. About
Who's
Another
getting this
30.
increase?
the county will get some of it and the employees will get some of it. It works out, it's like,
The main thing I'm concerned is exactly how much more is it gonna cost the employee for a family plan or
Several $100.
What's the family on the one you're reading now?
it is right now $1,301.87, and they would go to $1,339.62.
it was what? 1359?
1301, and it's going to $1,339.
So $38.
$38.
$38, so it's about $3 a month.
Yeah, $3 a pay.
change.
More than that.
It is.
You get
That's
two
$13
payments
But not
per
much.
month, so
Oh,
it'd be half.
That's $39.
Well, we get a portion of that, they get a portion of it. So
It will- Yeah,
my motion stands. I make the motion, we approve.
I mean, you know, cost of everything's
Yeah.
going up. Yeah, I mean, everything. So,
This will be calculated in cost of living as well, so.
and we just saved $100,000 on our pharmacy,
did, yeah.
pharmacy aspect.
Right, exactly.
I'll second his motion.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Motion to approve the rate increases as read, has been made by Manager Cullen, seconded by Manager Kaywood. Discussion. Questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Um,
All right, next.
What else?
The recommendations for going forward, we've done the stop loss and the administration.
Do you want me
It's,
to address that, Shannon?
if you would, could you just tell us about the telehealth and,
The HRA transfer.
that's, we'll do that at the end.
Hold on one
Okay.
second, though.
I
Can,
looked over.
in all seriousness, can you, Phil, are you hearing this okay or no?
I can bring it over.
I can't really hear that, really.
It will
It's
not
on the-
be streamed unless it's on the mic.
So take it over by Phil's mic, please. Put your mask on. Take it over by Phil's mask. Phil's a microphone.
Okay.
No, Phil's got an insurance background. Let him hear.
Well, I've got 3 minutes.
Okay, Lisa.
Okay, so, we are
That's
actually
fine.
making some very
That's fine.
modest recommendations for the health plan. The first of which is to extend coverage of telehealth for the duration of the public health emergency that we're in due to the coronavirus pandemic, and during any other future public health emergencies. So telehealth is where you can visit your physician through some electronic means. Sometimes it's sort of like FaceTiming, sometimes it's by phone.
Thank you.
During the early stages of the pandemic, this was almost the only way you could see a physician. And so rather than having to amend the plan to include the coverage and then remove it again every time there's a future pandemic, we're recommending that you make this change to your plan language so that anytime a pandemic takes place or any other public health emergency, that your employees will be able to access their physicians through telehealth.
That makes a lot of sense.
All right, I make the motion. Make the motion, we extend.
Motion to extend the telehealth piece, of information. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, made by Manager Cullen, seconded by Manager Ellis. Questions, comments, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
I don't know. I don't know if Lisa can, it's Lisa, right?
Yes.
Lisa.
Lisa, I don't know if you can she hear me at all or no?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. This is just something different. I was on the committee when we selected you all, and you guys are fantastic company, and we're grateful to have you. I know that you are no longer working with the city, if I understand correctly, the city of Danville.
Correct.
Have you guys, since they now have a new city manager, have you approached them to see if that relationship can be brought back at all to help possibly increase the savings to the county and those in this in Boyle County?
I believe that there may have been some contact made for the purpose of exploring a joint employer-sponsored clinic.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, we've not approached them about renewing our consulting contract. We would, of course, be, more than happy to be working with them again now that they've had an administrative change.
Yeah.
If we have not already done so, I'm sure that someone within our organization will probably be reaching out to them at some point.
I would encourage that with the new city manager would probably be on board listening and then presenting to the commission. That was actually one of the big points of bringing you on as well, was the ability to work together with the city and save all of us a lot of money through the two different government entities. So
I do know
thank you.
that one of the principles for Sherill Morgan, Mark Morgan, is in negotiation with several people in the area as it regards to a clinic, which would be a cost saving to include City of Danville employees as part of that.
Good. Well, I mean,
consideration.
I would say if we can get them back at the table. But just to clarify, not Mark Morgan here, Mark Morgan at Sherill Morgan.
Mark Morgan at Sherill Morgan.
Thank you. Yep.
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa.
Lisa,
You're welcome.
The only suggestion I'd like to have is the fact that I know the Zoom is great, but I just, when we have announcements like this, I'd prefer one of you guys being here. Unless Shannon can do it without going through the Zoom. It works pretty good, and sometimes it doesn't. As far as I'm concerned, which I've got a slight hearing impairment, I couldn't hardly hear what you're saying.
Duly noted, and hopefully the pandemic will end sooner rather than later, and
Well, the
this won't be an
pandemic was
issue in the
going on
future.
when we hired you people.
Yeah.
No,
No.
No, I don't believe so.
No,
No.
no, it wasn't.
no, it wasn't.
All right.
All righty, so much for that.
See, can I get your phone?
That's all I need you for, Lisa.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Have a good day. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Anything else?
I think the HRA transfers. Right now, the departments, funds transfer HRA premiums, what it's called, into the health fund. And the HRA account right now is a credit balance of $27,000. We are proposing not to make those transfers for the first 6 months, January to June, to bring that balance down. And we've done this in the past.
What's usually the monthly transfer?
Depends on,
Okay.
It varies.
yeah, it
On
varies.
claims, depends on claims. I think,
No, it
right?
doesn't depend on claims. It's always $200 per employee. Like the general fund has, there's 14 employees total on the HRA right now.
Okay.
So it's broke up between all 4 funds.
So just so we're not adding more to that
Right.
positive balance.
Right, we want to
Okay,
bring
I'll make that
balance
motion.
back.
And we're only gonna do it for 6 months. It was 6 months or a year. I think
But if
6
for some
months,
reason you need us to change it, you'll just let us know.
yeah, we
Okay.
can.
I'll make that motion that we go ahead and not make those transfers.
Second.
Okay, motion to not make transfers on the HRA funds so we can balance out the account has been made by Manager Cole, seconded by Manager Sammons. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
I think that's it for me.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Jailer Wolford is next.
Thanks, Shannon.
Your phone over here, Shannon. Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you all?
All right, how are you?
Thanks, sir. This is a copy of the contract.
Is it different from what I got here?
It's probably the same one.
I got one.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
This one's, that's what he's handed out. I
This
got
is
it.
the last contract.
Right.
It's just, So basically, this is our service agreement with New Vista, who's providing our mental health. I would like to request the fiscal court consider renewing this for another year. They're doing a good job, especially with the circumstances we're in. The good thing I like every 2 weeks is I get a list of everybody they see, whether it's for the therapist or the aftercare, so it kind of, which is good too, I think. You know, it helps me keep track of how many inmates are getting to see them. So I would like to,
I'll make the motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion to approve has been made by Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Sammons. No changes in rate.
no, the rate, I checked with
Just
Christie
dates.
yesterday, so basically the rate's the same. And we'll just, I guess, extend it for a year. I think that's how we have to do it.
As long as you're happy, we're happy.
I'm tickled to death with it.
Great.
Okay, any other comments, discussions?
You know, are we doing, and Brian, I know where you are and on this subject, and I'm there with you, and I think the court is too. Is there anything more we can do than what we're doing now in this area, or is that yet to come?
I think down the road, we'll
yeah,
see
okay.
some. You know, now, you know, we just have the limited space.
Yes.
That hurts us, especially being with COVID and not being able to have the face-to-face. That really increases, you know, the problems we have. But I think we'll have to do more to come, but I think we're starting on the right track. You know, the big thing I've noticed, and hopefully if I can get on the next agenda, I'd like to bring my updates and my numbers and kind of give you all an update. You know, we're having more severe mentally ill people in during this time. So I think everything that's going on out here is causing a stress on people that are already suffering. And so it does help us keep some of the ones that would tend to be more violent. So it gives us some tools to work with them to without causing other problems. You know, the big increase I'm seeing is pregnant women. We're going to have a lot of COVID babies. I pulled the numbers a couple of weeks ago on my report, and you know, usually I'd have a month here, have somebody. You know, 1 month I had 6, and most of these women are battling addiction. You know, I have one right now we're having to take to UK because of the substance abuse and being pregnant.
How are you transporting her?
Deputy. So we'll take them in a car, or the Explorer is what we use, because it's easier to get around the UK without driving a van.
It's gotta be tough to meet the CDC guidelines on that deputy being in.
It is, and one of the things, of course, this is even when I was with the sheriff's department, you know, they always train it, because we dealt with a lot of people with TB, so we try to keep a window cracked to keep fresh air. Of course, we do have the glass, so, and, you know, wear a mask and do all the protocols that we're supposed to, and I always make sure, hey, make sure you keep a window cracked to keep fresh air coming in. But it's still a risk. We do have one active case of COVID that was arrested and brought in, and I don't think they're going to be released. So yesterday we did test 33 inmates and 4 staff, and I probably will know, I don't know, probably, it's going to take 4 days, so probably Wednesday, but we'll know on it.
Brian, now that we're a red county with the other 79 counties, is that gonna affect, Brett Edwards and the crew coming out?
No, because they're on the separate side of the building, which is, we're fortunate. We're gonna keep, but what it's gonna hurt is continuing we've been working on trying to get our SAP beds filled. So we've received an email from the state yesterday that we can't transport anybody in until, even though it's on a different side of the building, because there still is possible, contact there with moving staff around. But, so that's gonna slow us down on it.
So they're still getting compliments out there. Appreciate it.
Well, we wanna try, like I say, we want that program to continue, so we're hopefully gonna have the roof finished today, putting the metal on. I know Glenn was gonna try to do it today while the weather was good. And we're still working on cameras. We're moving forward on it, as well, so.
Brian, getting back to the COVID-19, I'm real concerned, and we are too. You have, you said you had 4 employees that.
Tested, they're not,
tested.
right, we're just testing them
Okay, so
first.
you have one of them comes back positive. So how many of them will you have to put in quarantine then for 10 days?
Well, we'll test, and we'll continue to test. So if they're positive, they'll have to go home and follow the quarantine, or
That one
the protocol.
person, but that one person has come in contact with 3 or 4 other people.
Right.
Would you have to quarantine all 4?
Well, that's the funny thing about it. Somebody could have a positive test, but not be contagious. So we'll have to manage, and when everybody comes in the morning, they come through the same door, so we take a temperature, and they have to fill out a form. So we monitor everybody coming in and out. It could, if they all 4 test positive, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I think it is of value, and you may need to talk to Brent after you hear what I've got to say, Brent Blevins. My wife and I were exposed significantly. The minute that we got that call, we called Brent Blevins, and he asked us a battery of questions and basically told us to lay low for 7 days, which we did. And we had no indications after that 7 days. Hey, folks, that's why I was wearing this all day today until I had 6 feet between us. But there is latitude. That would have been my question 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. But with the case that we witnessed ourselves and no manifestation of anything, you might dig deeper with Brent.
We do. We work closely with Brent. We've had a couple other jails that's had some major outbreaks, but we're able to get on it. So I was at training. Yeah, I was at training the last Thursday and Friday, and the county, the guy sitting next to me, I mean, they had it, and he kind of told us how he went through and what he did. So we're kind of following some of what he's done.
So there's latitude there.
So, and here's my dilemma. Today we're at 193. Okay, so I'm full. So say for men, I have 218. We try to quarantine them in there for at least 72 hours. But as my numbers before we move them to general population, so I'm running out of space because I don't have those cells up front. We have people there, we're using those that are suicidal, different medical reasons. So, the lack of space is the hard part to overcome. And when it gets in, we're all gonna have it. Just because of the way I don't have the space, I don't have the medical that we need, where we can keep people segregated in quarantine. So, right now,
mass
we're just,
quarantine at the jails what'll happen, right?
and then it'll probably be, I'll have employees sleeping at the jail. So I'll have to find an office or something, and we'll have to take over and put mats on the floor and get changes of clothes, and we'll be staying
You would
there.
work with, Mike Wilder and getting some cots in there.
Well, we have mats,
You got mats.
boats that we can use, unless our numbers go up really high.
Right.
But we're trying to keep an eye trying to keep our inventory up, because when it happens, we want to be prepared, unlike where we were when this, but nobody was prepared.
You won't be in or out or anything.
Yeah, so, we'll have to look at meals and different things, of course.
Well,
This really is an issue, and I know with crises like, for example, the hurricanes, they move in portable living quarters. And worst case scenario, and that might qualify under COVID reimbursement, we could check out whether or not anything exists at the state level or out of Washington, D.C. because I think if we contacted our congressman and had a need for your staff who've been exposed but are not showing any signs, but we've got parking area back there where we could have living quarters to make them a lot more comfortable.
I would
than
hate
being
for them
on
to be
mats.
in those cells or in those
Yeah,
different areas.
and we would probably have to take over the SAP classroom on the state side and cover the windows. And I'd have to separate men and, male and female, so I'm gonna have double.
Prepare for the worst.
Would we be able to do anything with possibly like the EMS quarters, or no, you guys?
No, because we would risk exposing those
Yeah,
guys.
that's
So, it's one of those things, we just have to shelter in place
All right.
and just, hunker down.
Hunker down.
Tighten our chin and go, so.
All the more reason why it was good that we went ahead and approved the extension of the vacation days, because you're already hurting, yeah. So,
I think you got one, officer that could probably take some time off for sure.
yeah.
And, the thing is, we just, right now, we need everybody, because we are down two, but, with everything going on, we want to, biggest thing is trying to keep everybody healthy.
But in case you haven't heard, with the court earlier today approved an extension, a one-time extension on COVID-19 purposes of the 120-hour rule for this year. And Shannon will be working with every supervisor to encourage taking as much time off between now and the end of the year as possible, and what's not possible, roll over.
Okay.
You have nine that are over.
Yeah, and it's,
Planning to
a
be
lot
over,
of it
yeah.
too is where we're doing some, there's just more going on. We need people there. We've had more people in the hospital. So that's what's killing us, is having to go and stay at the hospital 24/7. Like I say, we did have a female that gave birth, at the hospital, and
Sorry, I'm creeping up.
it's just different.
How do you handle a situation like that? You have a person that's drug addict, female, take her to the hospital. Do you all, after birth, she's still incarcerated, I assume?
Yeah.
Bringing the baby back, or where do you?
No, we don't bring the babies back. That's where,
Where do you put them up for adoption?
that's where social services would step in. But
Take the baby.
Or unless they have a family member,
Foster.
a family member may be willing to take a baby, so that's where it worked out between social services. But we have to stay there. Of course, that's exposing our staff to, greater risk of COVID because they're in a hospital, so they're full of sick people. And we have to stay
Generally
with
in
them.
Lexington, where they're having huge numbers.
And then, with our pregnant females, if they're going, you really can't let them go through detox because it endangers the baby. So they're coming back on like a Suboxone or something, a generic form, and we have to make sure that, provide the neonatal care, the whole thing, and we can't take them to here because they're not set up for it. So every pregnant woman has to go to UK.
Brian, it is a heck of a dilemma when you're down two already and you're transferring somebody over there 24 hours a day to Lexington. Would it be legal, and if so, could we hire private security, police officers over there who are off duty?
I don't think we can. I don't know if the Department of Corrections would allow us.
These are those circumstances. that the
Usually,
judge is
if they're a
talking about.
state inmate, we can notify the Department of Corrections, and they'll have somebody come and sit for us. But where these are county inmates, most
These are
of them.
such unusual circumstances, might be worth a question.
It'd be a cost to the county,
Yeah.
in addition to.
I understand.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have it in my budget to pay. And then, the big thing is too, seems like everything is breaking our plumbing. We're having a lot of issues, just trying to keep the operation going. So, our building's dated, which you all know that. I don't have to tell you that.
Really? Which brings me to a very short and brief discussion, if we may. Has there been any more discussion about what we're gonna do with building or?
We've talked about it, John, and we're trying to get closer. I have some rough estimates from Mike Carroll of Branch Senator Carroll on replacement at the jail, upgrades at the jail. But I can't do that because right now it looks like the most economical is to do in-place retrofit and upgrade at the current location, which means I've got to move out EMS, Public Works, and solid waste, okay? I just need, and I've discussed with the new city manager, some trades off of White's Park to give us some acreage somewhere where we can do that and get them moved out. And then we can move forward with the recommendations of Branstetter Carroll, and you, if nothing changes, I think everybody would be really happy with the potential bond issue that would come forward in upgrading our jail to, possibly even up to I think it was total of 370 beds in place. And the cost would be well within our ability to fund a bond issue on that.
Now, are those secure beds? How,
Yeah, those would be secure beds.
okay. And, you know, one of the
There would
things.
be 40 unsecure.
Okay, because one of the things I would like to see is have a long-term plan. You know, if we do what the judge talked about and get the front, get
Right.
that paid off, and then let's start phase two, because, you know, the back part of the building, it's still, you're gonna put money into it, and I'm hoping we're not throwing good money on bad, because it's gonna take a lot of work. But if we did it in phases, so it's not a big $40 million at one time that, you know, could cripple our community, but break it up and have a
That
plan.
40 million is not in my vocabulary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that would be the wisest way to go. Let's, you know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, and let's kind of break it up and do it and have a long-range plan.
Judge, looking back, some time ago, you know, we talked about with, Ron Scott, when he was a city manager, I thought we was pretty close to making a trade with Watts Park.
I think we were.
Yeah.
And then we had,
What happened to that? I wonder.
David Milliron come in, and Ron Scott retired, and they never came to an agreement, and Milliron wasn't interested at all, and we have a new city manager, and I believe that both he and the mayor are ready to re-engage by their own statements.
I think so too, and look at it at a realistic standpoint, they need Watts Park. We don't
It's
need
good all
Watts
around.
Park, but they do. We gotta
It
split
could
up.
it could be a benefit to both
Be
of
an
us.
asset to them and an asset to us to get about 4 or 5 acres on that.
Even if it was just acre for acre, 3.5, it'd be, you know.
We gotta have more than that. Our property's worth more than theirs.
Ours is the center cut of the country hand, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay, anything else?
That's it, Judge.
Did we vote?
No,
Did we vote?
no.
We haven't voted yet.
Okay, we've had a motion, and it's been seconded, I won't repeat that because it's been too long. Let's vote on the motion to accept to continue with
contract.
the new Vista contract for the coming year.
Yeah.
And, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Quick question for you. That car you drive around bothers the heck out of me. Was that a wasted purchase?
No, because, I mean, I use it, you know, especially for on duty. I mean, I drive it home, park it, and then, you know, drive
I
it to
saw
work.
somebody this weekend driving it, and I swear he looked crammed as all get out in there. And so, I just can't imagine that we're getting a multiple use opportunity out of that vehicle.
Well, I
It's
think
mainly-
what I'm gonna do is probably take the cage out, so I can use it for staff to drive to training, because we went, like I say, we drove it to training, for two days, in Casey County. But I did notice that all the jailers down there had four-wheel drive trucks with, 4 doors and stuff, so.
Any chance before you start dismantling that thing, maybe you can reach out to a smaller area that might utilize something like that?
I don't know if they'd be able to use it with the cage the way it's in, because
I got in there, I got in the back seat.
Oh, I got in there too.
Oh, my goodness, I felt like a sardine in the can with
It's
the lid
useless.
It's impossible to really
It
put
is.
somebody, you couldn't put somebody back
No,
there.
you can't. You gotta lay them down.
One of the things, though, is, I would like to ask, I don't know when Duane's scheduled to get a new vehicle, but I'd like to have the option of taking his, and use it for my work crew. Even if I need to pay some money for it, I can pay for it out of canteen, and use that for what Fred's doing, because we're gonna need 2 vehicles for that.
If you take out that cage, can the county utilize that vehicle for anything? Bill need a vehicle or something? It's a wasted vehicle. I mean, I'm more about you having a multi-use vehicle like that. If you're not using it, that somebody can be transported or whatever, still fuel efficient, some sort of vehicle, whatever, I don't know. But that's just,
I mean, you know, it suits me, for being, you know, driving here in the county, and then I have to go to Frankfurt. Of course, I was just, elected to the Kentucky Jailers Association Board of Directors, so I've got to drive to Covington, I
Yeah.
think, next week for our first board meeting. So it's good for those things, and it's easy on gas.
Would it be suitable for the sheriff to use that for a canine? I mean, since it's a small
I don't think the
place,
canine will fit back there.
you just put a dog back there, I mean, fix it so, you know, nobody else can back there.
I don't know if they could design, I don't even know if they'd sell a cage for a car that small.
Yeah, I don't
But like
even,
I say, it's fine for me for what I need driving here to the courthouse back and forth and training and different things. I mean, it is what it is. You know, the gas mileage is great. I think I put gas in it every 3 weeks for like $25 depending on, $25 to $30 depending on what the gas
Yeah.
price is, so.
all right, well, I was just hoping that we, you know, I'm all about trying to find multiple uses for something, and that one I think is just kind of a miss, so. Jailer, thank
Well, I
you
appreciate it.
and your staff for everything you do.
Thank you all.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Who's next? Anybody?
No, that's it.
Nobody important.
All right, now, it is somebody important.
Uh,
Treasurer Hinkle's time.
Most important person in the courthouse, or them, except the judge or
See,
the man.
see?
did he bring you some fruitcake? I'm sorry.
Jason Cullen is the most important person here.
Yeah, we hear that too much.
All right.
He's talked a lot, and I haven't said a thing about it. You know?
About what, his fruitcake?
I ain't even.
No, you haven't criticized his
He ain't
talking.
said a thing.
No,
He's
no
saving up.
comment whatsoever.
He's gonna use it under new business.
He just can't hear, so he hadn't been able to.
You got the floor, sir.
Okay, so I circulated the, month end of September for you all, and as always, if y'all wanna come talk about it or have any questions, you can come visit me. And then I did my first quarterly report, we got it submitted to DLG, everything's good to go. Attached to the end of that quarterly report is something that I do wanna bring to your all's attention, and that is the, Constitution Square endowment funds. And, you know, Mary had talked about this back in August, and our principal balance on the, agency fund there is up to $352,658.37. And in addition to that, we're now up to $42,210.94 that we can use as a grant, and it's the one-time request that comes next month. So you all might want to get up and see what the recommendations are, what we might want to spend that money on, if you all want to spend that money. It's kind of up to you all, it just.
And that's a draw on basically the interest earned off of the big fund.
Right,
And
right,
you only do it once a year in December, is that correct?
correct.
Okay.
So,
Can we draw that money down and put it aside to use for projects, or do we have to like name what we're going to use it for? And if you don't know the answer, I'm fine with that. It's
I
just
don't know.
I
something
don't
we
know
need to ask.
that either.
we'd have to find that out.
So if we have a month, or if we have, you know, a couple weeks, I'd say, personally, I'd like to see two things happen. One, find out the answer, can we just draw that money down? And set it aside, knowing that we're gonna utilize it. I mean, there's lots of things that need to be done out there.
Sure are.
And then
Put it
second,
Even on the sidewalk, couldn't we?
sir,
Sidewalk roofs.
There is a budget for sidewalk, I think, and for roof.
I know the roof is in there because that's what you all had talked about last time. There's money in the budget for the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Not near enough.
yeah,
yeah, for one roof.
No, for
One
one
roof.
roof
One
a year
roof.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we go back to our committee and ask them for recommendations on things that they need updated most,
I can tell from sitting in it yesterday along with Julie, it's the sidewalk.
okay?
Yeah.
And if we don't have
Well,
money,
y'all did a priority list of them, did
yeah,
you not, so,
we did, and that came out
Yeah.
way up there.
Yeah.
That-
Oh, yeah.
That sidewalk from
right.
Maine to, from Grayson's Tavern to Maine.
Well, that's where, did your wife fall on that sidewalk?
True.
We'll
I'll make a
call it-
motion for John.
Okay, what else?
The second one there is the dedicated fund, and when it's up to 22,726.40. When we get up to 25, which I'd say probably by the end of the year we'll be close to that. We gotta get up to 25 before we can start drawing on it. and use it as a grant or whatever. But we're almost there, and you'll see even though we can't draw on it, we still have fees, so that's why there's a negative $300 balance.
Okay.
So, I just wanted to bring that to your all's attention.
So this will be on the agenda for next month then, to finalize this then?
Yeah, just carry over recommendation, and in the meantime, BOK will not meet until the first Monday of the month, which will be before court in December.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can do that.
Let's do that.
Judge, have you all had discussion concerning fundraising and encouragement of people to participate in giving to
No,
the square?
I've got a lot of information on that, John, through, that I got from Mary Connolly before she left. There are several pieces of information that I would like to share with Julie, get that publicized and through the committee and in the newspaper, that people that want to be friends of Birthplace of Kentucky can get tax credit write-offs with the contributions. And this is a process of how to do that.
Okay, I just think we need to keep that in front of us as we move down.
Okay, so the next thing is, I'd like the request of approval of us getting a new copier. Ours is a little old.
It's got an animal inside of it.
Yeah,
somewhere.
there's something going on in it. Every time you try to scan something.
Does it leave deposits?
Well, every time you try to scan something, it eats something else. So you might have a couple people in the courthouse coming to check on us because we're over there slamming the top of it.
Well, that's why it don't work.
So, but they are going to take it in on trade-in and give us about $1,500 for it. So,
DOE?
Yep, DOE. Well, I got 3 different quotes here. DOE's a little bit more expensive than the Bluegrass Office Systems, but the deals that they have for us that are included are a little better. So, ultimately, DOE is the best.
I make a motion
for our
to
buck.
buy the copier.
Second.
Do y'all see the paperwork in front of you?
Yes. Make a motion we approve, buy it locally.
Second.
Third.
Okay, we have a first, second, and third. The motion was made to approve DOE as a copier supplier to the fiscal court. The judge's office went in there for the stipulated price, and because in this, it is lowest and best bid, okay? And that's what we have here. We have 3. So, motion was made by Magistrate Salmon and seconded by Magistrate Ellis. Discussion or comments regarding the copy or purchase and.
Does this include training so that y'all don't have to beat it up
Yep.
and?
Well, if we
abuse
get
the
that
equipment?
animal out inside of it, we won't have to beat it up.
We'll get our new AOC too to take care of the animal. We'll be good to go.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you right now, if we weren't getting trade-in for it, I'd already picked it up and threw it out the window.
And Keegan, I guess you're talking about the service agreement being favorable.
Correct. And, if we have an issue with it,
Was right down the street.
they're right down the street.
Oh, yeah.
They can come right down
Yeah.
here and get it fixed. We don't have to wait on anybody to come down here.
What's, we approved it today, when can you get one?
Well, it'd be a good question because our sales representative is having a hard time answering the phone, so I might have to walk down there and get it just like I had to get this quote. So hopefully we
Well,
can
you
get
should
that
have told
working.
us that before we made the motion.
Well, I think after I tell him that it's been approved, he might be a little faster on response.
Maybe.
Maybe. So.
Yeah, I hope he's not
You tell
involved in
Scott-
the service
you tell
agreement.
Scott Bottoms that we're looking for him.
Well, I probably should have called
He-
Scott.
He don't need to be spending all the money before he gets it on a pond out in front of his house.
Moving right along, as Jason would say.
I think
Is
it's
there any
Bill's.
further discussion outside of that?
Nope.
Okay. All those in favor of approving this bid, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. All right, what else you got for us, Keegan?
So the last thing here is Julie has kind of put this together. Out of all of our nonprofit agencies, their appropriation report to us from 1920, they're all delinquent. It was due at the end of September. The only one that's given it to us is Wilderness Trace. And so we're just gonna, just a little FYI, y'all don't have to approve it or anything, but we're gonna send out a letter to them and let them know they're delinquent. We need to get their reports in from 1920 on what they spent the money on.
It's just information,
All right.
okay? So that's what that's about. Anything else? Forrest?
Only,
That's it.
on this, they either come and tell us in person or either notify you by email or something.
Right, correct.
We need, feedback.
I can't understand, helping hands, I thought we'd done that.
Well, what it is there's a form, and when you approve them in their packet, it says you are required by September 30th to tell us the previous budget year what you've spent
What you
your
spent the money on.
Right, yeah.
So only one has sent that in by the September 30th deadline out of 22, one.
Wow.
So what I did is put together the form and this little letter here, and basically if you want to get on the appropriation list for next year, you have to be in good standing with you.
That's actually great.
So that's what we've done, is you've got to be in good standing and have your paperwork. And this
Correct.
doesn't mean send us the
Correct.
link. This means fill out the paperwork and send it.
And what's the deadline that they have to get it back to us?
November 30th.
That sounds great.
So that gives
Went
us.
out yesterday.
And if they don't have it by November 30th, then they're not eligible for,
They're
Yeah.
not in good standing.
okay, good deal. Perfect.
Everybody understand?
Yep.
Information for you. All right. Now, we come to that point in time where we're gonna talk about new business, and we'll start with Magistrate.
Steve Hunter said he sent his.
The folks in Perryville at their meeting last Thursday night discussed at length the playground. Getting the document over for signature and signature with the judge. I spoke yesterday with Brian Boyle, the mayor, again yesterday. Being this late in the year, they're asking for our dispensation to go to the spring
July
if
15th.
need be. And they've discovered that there's a whole lot of concrete holding a lot of that equipment in the ground over there. So it's gonna be an impediment to getting the work crew out there, but I volunteered to do what
You're missing
Ronnie did.
good date, good weather.
Could be ideal, yeah. I talked with the mayor about his needs for equipment. He brought up the fact that they have nothing now to lift salt with. He's hoping that we might have something that we can surplus out, either a tractor with a bucket or a skid loader or something. And I just don't know what we might have, and I
don't
didn't
believe
encourage
we
it.
do. We looked at that, we talked with Burtis, a few months back, and he said the same thing to Duane and I. And, we just don't have anything right now, cause we only got the one backhoe.
Yeah.
And,
Seems like they
it's
could-
broke, we just heard that today.
Yeah, it seems like they could contract with a farmer who's got a big tractor and a bucket on the
We
front.
said we would share out as much as possible to do it.
Of course, in an emergency for salt, we're gonna be using it, so I'll talk to him again about what he might do with farmers around there, cause I know one or two who are very community oriented, so. I've made 2 calls and 2 emails to CSX trying to expedite the Brumfield Road 34 interchange there, where there's an acre plus, and it's not much more than an acre, where there've been very serious problems going on. CSX has gotten some feedback from their attorney that they do not think that they own it anymore, and they do believe that it reverts back to the owner. And we know the names of the 2 owners that might be part of it, and there's a good possibility that we'll be able to move forward. The judge asked me to look into getting some dirt. I have the dirt available, free of charge, except for our moving it. Public Works taking care of moving that. And we're hoping on that triangle, on this side, there's a deep, deep ditch. I wouldn't even think to take my 4-wheel drive truck over here. On this side, if we can put a berm up and grass it, then that's the best solution, and nobody could go over the top of that berm. And we've got plenty of free soil just sitting there waiting. I was asked yesterday if we really wanted it, and I said, Judge, absolutely. So, just any idea on the EDP summit that we talked about and was in the minutes today?
No, I've not heard back from the city as far as collaboration with them.
I made contact while we were sitting here with Eric Gibson. Eric is in charge with all law enforcement for Fish and Wildlife for the state. And he's, of course, Mai's husband.
And your
Eric,
neighbor. And your neighbor.
yes. And Eric said, absolutely, Fish and Wildlife has no responsibility for picking up the deer in those circumstances. And twice he wrote back to me and said it's transportation.
It's a state highway department.
And finally, Judge, if we could, I just got a nice note back from my best friend of my life, who's a Marine who went down in a helicopter. He's a quadriplegic. If we could adjourn both for today's 45th anniversary of the Marines and tomorrow, Veterans Day, I think that there's nothing that could be more important than that. Thank you. That's all I got.
I thought he was talking about you at first, Phil.
What,
Best
250th
friend of his
anniversary?
life. I thought, I was like, oh, he's
He
talking about
claims
Phil.
you. I can't.
He's the one now, Phil.
I'm the
Before you
son he
go
never
anywhere,
wanted to
he's the one
have.
Gave you that
Oh,
cake.
he's my best friend.
I'm the grandson he never wanted to have.
All right.
No, sir.
No? All right. Anybody? Julie?
I just have the date change.
You're right.
You want me to go over that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead and do that.
Getting into the holidays, we're proposing that the second meeting in December be held on Thursday, the 17th at 9 a.m.
That would be the second one. The first one as is scheduled. We're moving from the 22nd to stay away from Christmas week.
I'll try to make that one.
Does that meet everybody's calendar okay?
That's gonna be fun.
Jason'll be out of town, he'll be out west.
I don't think we need a motion to approve.
No, my girls come back.
Does anybody have any objection to the 17th?
Not at all.
Okay,
Son's birthday.
all right.
Yeah.
Master Governor.
Well, this is kind of a question that I'm going to bring back to Chris when it regards to tourism, the CVB. If possible, can we change up the ordinance that we have that all of the funds for CVB come through the county instead of going directly to CVB, and then they be allocated like other entities that we have here? I think that would be.
Is that a discussion you're gonna have and bring back to the court at a later?
Well, I
date?
think that myself, Julie, and Chris can have a conversation. So yeah. So if you wanna kind of engage, that would be
You're
fantastic.
exploring options,
Yes.
correct.
Well, one of the good things on that is Senate Bill 5 says they will come to us next year
Yes.
for approval.
I've been getting quite a few phone calls about the paper recycling at Goes Pike. They've changed it to where the bins are much smaller. You have to
And you talked to Angie about that?
I've talked to Angie about it. She's given me some good feedback on it, but it sounds like there's a communication issue between her and those at the cycling center. I don't know. One other thing I'm working on with Chris as well is the smoking ban. He brought back to me some good ordinances, and so my apologies it's taken so long to kind of do anything, but I think we're on the right track for that. And General, any chance you could help? We haven't been able to do much in the way of celebrating our vets this year because of COVID. I didn't know if you had a line on possibly any other vehicles that could be put over at the memorial. You know, we've got the tank, we've got cannon. Anything
Yeah.
else that maybe you can?
We have, Jack Hendricks and I have tried
Okay.
to get a aircraft, because we have two Army
Yeah.
pieces, and we have worked on that with the Air Force Museum at Dayton, which is the purveyor of historical aircraft. And right now, we have not been able to secure anything of viability.
Okay.
There was a piece, somewhere in, I can't remember, Jack was here, he might remember, it would take a lot to restore. I think it was in Mississippi or somewhere, and it's hard to get, but we'll revisit that because I would love to have something other than an artillery piece and a tank.
It would be nice to kind of be able to bring vets together to unveil something new at the park
I
for them.
agree.
That'd be great.
It just goes to show the importance of the Army. Sorry, I just couldn't pass that up.
Well, I got two Army guys here, so, you know, he had to say that, didn't he?
Um,
That's the reason I'm trying to find an Air Force piece. Got you there. Yes, sir.
Last, I mean, I appreciate the closing in memory of Veterans Day tomorrow, and I'm grateful for the veterans that sit here and I get to serve with. I'm always humbled by you gentlemen and appreciate what you've done for this country. During the governor's update yesterday, he brought some statistics about Thompson Hood Vet Center.
Yeah.
And the COVID that's run rampant through there, and we've lost quite a few.
I lost a friend there, local friend.
I'm
in
sorry.
Boyle County here yesterday.
Yeah, I'm very sorry about that, and so,
Some name that you might know, an Army guy, Mike Osborne.
Who, do you care to share the name, Judge?
Mike Osborne. Mike Osborne. He flew helicopters for several years in the Army. And
Oh, yes, yes.
We're-
You introduced him to me down at his place.
I did,
remember?
I did.
yeah, I think that through the first phase, they actually were really well protected, and then somehow came
Got
in.
Well,
And
he wasn't all that old, Judge, what, in his fifties?
No, he was a little, he was older
Was
than
he
that.
older than that?
If I remember correctly, I think they said about 82 have passed from that facility, or might be less than. I'm sorry. I know there's quite a few that have passed from that facility right now. So I would just like to keep them in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
But that's all I have.
Okay, thank you for all that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, very much,
Thank you very much.
You're not a veteran, but we appreciate your,
Support and
Uh,
yeah.
continued
My
support.
my life is indebted to those that sacrifice. So thank you.
Magistrate K. Wood.
Well, I've got a couple of things. I've seen some press releases that I think Julie has written, or somebody, and I think it's a good idea, and I hope we can continue to tell our story, if you may. I think the court has an important story to information to the public, and I'm awfully pleased to see that happening. Anything on the broadband Kentucky Wired that update or anything on?
There really is not.
Okay.
There really is not. As I stated last court session, I have sent a hard copy and an email copy request to Starlink, to a lady out there in Washington State, that we have requested to be a beta test site for Starlink. If they come down off of the latitudes from 44 degrees to 37 degrees lat, if we can do that north, then I would like to start out by doing that here in Boyle County. So I've volunteered us to do so. But right now, there's nothing new, to my knowledge, either from the city or from the state regarding broadband. I know it's a hot topic with everybody, but it doesn't seem to be anything new and earth-shattering.
Judge, on behalf of the people in my district, I know that you're emphasizing West Boyle County, and I thank you, and I'd like that duly noted so that they know.
John, I thought we were supposed to have broadband here in the city, and
We do have it here in the city.
we have it right here, right?
We do have
How far out
we do
does it
have,
go? How far out, 150 does it go?
Oh,
Just
down.
the edge of the city?
there, you have spectrum that goes out past your house, but it doesn't come to mine. I don't believe.
Don't come to mind.
And spectrum is 100 megabytes per second. So you could tie into spectrum at your house.
I can't get it across the road. I live on the right-hand side,
It's on the other side of the road.
on the other side of the road.
Well, they could come underneath that.
They won't do it.
I got fiber on Goggin. So I got 1,000 in Riverview.
Spectrum just goes to the last house across the road from me, correct? Along
Bigger
there.
isn't
I
always
think it
better.
stops there at Lockland, yeah.
Yeah. So you have,
I'm not sure about.
We have
that.
AT&T fiber on the eastern part of Boyle. Out on-
AT&T fiber's right here in
in-
downtown too.
well, now, we don't have AT&T fiber out our way, Judge.
No.
No, do not.
Well, 'cause I tried to get package deal with AT&T on the internet, so they said, well, they don't offer it out our way.
I think in some part of the cities doesn't even, like my building here doesn't have fiber option.
You know?
It doesn't?
No, but other parts of Main Street do. It's weird. Yeah.
Well, John, continue.
Actually, yeah,
back
no, I
with
looked
you.
at that.
John,
Yeah.
we interrupted you, sorry.
That's
He's used to it.
good discussion. That's why I brought it up. In connecting, I think, Tom, you asked the question about EDP. Judge, have you heard anything from the foundation? I kind of encourage that you and the mayor be representatives and voting voice on the foundation. Has been any communication with them? Well, let me read to you all something that I pulled out of the partnership commitment of the partners of Danville, Boyle County, Danville, Boyle Economic Development, EDP, adopted July the 1st of 19. In section 4, it says, according to its corporate articles of incorporation, BCIF promotes the advancement and development of the city of Danville and Boyle County, Kentucky, individually and commercially. Commercially is a real key word to me because that encompasses a whole lot. That's why I'm pushing for y'all to have representation in those meetings and being a part of that BCIF. I know y'all get tired of hearing me, but this is exactly why. And I'm going to say this because I know somebody from BCIF is probably watching us. I expect it now. I expect this subject to be taken care of now. It should have been taken care of a long time ago. I understand why they got away from it back in those times, which was a long time ago. My expectation is that you all have a seat now and that you all hear from them now. Or else we'll have to have another discussion about other opportunities. But when you include the word commercially, to me, that's broad.
Everything.
That is broad. Industrial is easy to understand, but that's a lot that affects our revenue stream. We should be at the table and have a voice at the table, in my opinion.
Paralleling that, Magistrate Kaywood, in our minutes today, it's reported that both Magistrate Cullen and I asked very specific information, and I'm going to follow up on that. At least I'll put us both together if you want to, on what we asked for, that if we don't follow up with an email, we'll probably not see that information that we've requested. So,
last thing, if I may, I'm real interested in seeing what our payroll tax revenue is for the third quarter. And I know the third quarter just ended as far as reporting, but it'd be interesting to see what those numbers are, particularly in comparison to last year, and we'll get a better idea of how hard a hit we took because of COVID. I have some suspicions. Jason probably had some suspicions when he did his quarterly.
You think it's gonna be significant?
Yes, sir, I do, and I think we need to know. We just need to know. That's our revenue. We need to know how big a hit we've taken, and when the opportunity comes for that report to come out of our payroll department, I'd like for it to be shared, please, sir.
Okay, will do.
I'm done.
Julie's got that?
Julie's got it. Thank you. Well, Mary Lynn she did a really good job in trying to get it down by different industries and I think we ought to use it, you know. She did a great job in promoting that and made an effort, so let's use the information when it's available.
Yeah. We'll get on it. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right.
Hey,
You need an alibi?
back and ask.
You need an alibi? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Done the court, or correct me, well, let me rephrase my question. Who appoints the Convention and Visitors Bureau Director?
Board.
The board oversees it.
Well, who starts the board? Don't we have,
We have membership
we have
appointees.
membership, and the board appoints the director, correct?
Yes.
am I correct that the chair is not seated now?
No, I don't believe that. We can't verify that 100%.
I can.
KRS dictates that
It
the
is not.
chamber
It
gets a
is.
seat, that the restaurant association gets a seat, the lodging gets a seat, the city and county. It's all spelled out in KRS who makes up that board. I can get you, I'll get you the,
The problem is that-
Each entity has so many, I mean, we have so many, and the city has so many, correct?
yes.
Yes.
And then all these other, the chamber, the.
That are outside the city.
Outside of it, I think they're allowed to appoint one, correct?
I believe so. I'll
Okay.
KRS.
The hotels,
Is the,
Right,
the
lodging.
point I'm
Lodging.
trying to make is the direct, I'm talking about the director, she's still
guess.
Yes, sir.
Well, she applied for another job, and I heard that she probably got it.
We have not,
I've not heard about that at all, but
And I heard as recent as earlier, well, last week, that the board chair is still in place.
Huh.
it was,
One more.
You need an alibi too. Okay, go ahead.
I lied. I'm sorry. I thought I was there. Just remember, don't forget, we have the seat on EDP to
Yes,
fill.
absolutely.
So let's not forget
Yeah, we
that.
still have, David's seat to fill on EDP.
Yeah.
And I'm still looking for recommendations. And I personally don't have anybody in mind at this moment, so I'm open.
I might have somebody I can think about.
Well, I did say that. I think we all agreed that next person should come from this court as a representative to assist.
So should we vote Tom now or later?
I was thinking of a guy named Cullen, but
I think Cullen's got his plate full.
I'm open.
I'd like to,
I actually,
nominate, the white-headed guy to my right.
let's see, John's to your right, the way you're sitting.
I was actually thinking if Magistrate K would be willing, I think he would be an excellent representative for the court.
You're very kind, but I'm at the point where no, I've been there, and
No,
I
no.
appreciate it. I've been there,
Why?
done it.
I agree with you, he'd be the best, but
Strike that
You
from
could
the
have
record.
gone a long time and not had to say that one, Phil.
Can we make sure
Here,
that gets in the
wait a
minutes?
minute, let me give him this shirt off my back.
There's a motion by Magistrate Sammons to nominate Magistrate Tom Ellis to help represent the county on the EDP as official board member, so.
I'll second that.
And been seconded by Magistrate Cullen. Discussion, comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Congratulations, Tom, on being appointed to the board.
I've
Be
never-
be assured, they will be angry about me going over
I've
the
never heard the
minutes.
general talk so quickly.
I'd like to say that Tom will do us a wonderful job.
Yes, he will. Gentlemen, there is, before us, we do have a quorum. There is a
They didn't want to quit
personnel
structure
issue
before,
that,
they will now.
that would require us to go into executive session if we want to, and we should, in a timely manner, discuss that today. I don't believe that Shannon is available, but she might be out there, or could be available.
Are we required to be taped for an executive
No.
session?
No.
We are required to not be taped.
I didn't know if they just archived it or something.
No.
Thank you, good.
No.
There can be no action.
You needed me to make a motion to go into executive session?
Yes, I need a motion, and I need to make sure that
So moved.
everybody clears the room except for Shannon
I'll second that.
and,
Jason.
okay. We have a motion to go into executive session, and been made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Kaywood. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Bill, I ask that
Do you have to, I think you have to
We have to
vote when
take
you
action.
come back in, don't take action.
Yes. We will do so.
We'll walk outside and I'll talk to you when you're all done.
Oh my goodness, can you just get rid of those things now?
No. No, I will not.
Tell your people down there.
No, I will not, and I will tell you all about it why,
Okay.
just when this meeting's over with.
I'm gonna bring kerosene.
You pay me for a reason.
He's on, I think. Are you on, Bill?
Yes, sir, you're live.
We're live, okay.
Thank you.
Shannon, I'll need
Thank
you
you,
to,
ladies.
just to restate the name. Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Oh, we
we're on
got-
the record, or she
Yeah, we need a vote, we need.
Make a motion, we'll go back into
We're
regular
live.
session.
I know, we're going back, come out of executive session. Motion to come out of executive session made by Magistrate Sammons. Seconded by Magistrate Cullen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Let 'em
duly
back in.
noted that we did not take any action for any reason. They can come back, yeah, they can come back.
Y'all come back in.
I was looking to see if anybody else was having. Okay.
Okay, we don't, is Ann coming or do we know? All right, we have everybody here. There was a motion to come out of executive session and it was seconded and we were out. We're out now, out of executive session. We're back in our regular scheduled full
Make a
session.
motion, we'll go back in regular session.
Okay, with motion been made to go into regular session by Magistrate Salmon and second by Magistrate Ellis, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Approved. All right, we're back where we initiated before we went into executive session. We have before us the consideration of what to do, and I need some guidance on this, and I know our attorney's not here, but Shannon, to state a personal action that we need to take. I'm gonna kinda let you lead me into this a little bit if you don't mind.
We need permission to terminate Paul Deshawn, our solid waste employee.
Okay, and that's enough right
That's
there.
enough.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made for termination of said employee by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Sammons.
Could we add the words, because I know this from my background, with cause?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll add that to my motion, it's fine.
Phil?
All right, to amend it to with cause. Both by the person who made the motion and the one who seconded it, so. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, and motion carries. That brings us to the point, I think there's nothing left to be discussed. I would like, yes, go ahead.
We need permission to advertise for the
We need,
new solid waste.
we need to,
floater.
permission from the court to advertise for a full-time position of a convenience center,
So moved.
employee. And, to amend that motion, made by Magistrate Cullen, seconded by Magistrate Ellis, not only to advertise for a full-time employee, but to bring on an additional floater to the system.
That was John that made the motion.
John did,
I seconded it.
and
Or
you
Tom,
seconded.
either one, doesn't matter.
We tied, he's good.
Tie goes to
Cullen.
Cullen, okay. So, is that acceptable as an amendment? John?
Yes.
Okay. So the motion is to hire a full-time convenience center employee and to hire a part-time floater in our solid waste department, made by Magistrate Kaywood, second by Magistrate Cullen. Discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign, motion carries. Now, gentlemen, I believe we're at the point where we can adjourn, and I would like to state that we will adjourn in honor of the Marine Corps', you sure it's the Marine Corps, right?
Absolutely.
Marine Corps' 245th anniversary or birthday, this week, in addition to Veterans Day tomorrow, the 11th of November. There are a lot of veterans on this court. There's 3 of us here. We are deeply honored to have served, as I will speak for those, if you don't mind. that are here, and we are humbled by those expressions of gratitude every time we receive them. And it's been a personal honor for each and every one of us to have done what we did to serve our country. And I know without a doubt, if we could still be allowed to do it, we'd still be doing it. So, with that in mind, I will gavel us to adjournment in honor of the 245th Marine Corps birthday and in honor of Veterans Day and all those who have served and all those who support those who have served tomorrow in appreciation. We stand and adjourn.